Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. I have in the studio joining me this morning the alumni president, I think is the UNIBEN, the chairman, UNIBEN Alumni Association, Lagos branch. And I have one of the members in the studio with me as well this morning. And we're talking about community development, a collective responsibility. Let's look at the role of the alumni in infrastructural development in communities. And we'll be taking, easy Lagos, but we will not be looking at Lagos per se. We'll be looking in general terms. I'm talking about pharmacist Stephen Onojomete.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Correct.
Yes. Good morning. Good to have you here
Good
this morning.
morning. Nice.
You look like a Delta man.
I am from
You look
Delta.
like Asari Dokubo. That's the cap I
my
used to
brother.
see. That's the cap I used to see on Asari's head. That cap is doing me, you know, some interesting thing this morning. And of course, Yemi Omobolanle, you're also here with me this morning. You went all the way to UNIBEN to go and school.
Yes, and it is very interesting.
Don't worry.
It was a wonderful experience.
I understand.
That was my first time of being
Out of Lagos.
Yes.
Are you from Lagos?
I'm from Ondo, but I grew up in Lagos.
Which part of Ondo?
Lagosian.
Agege.
No, which part of Ondo State are you from?
Ifon.
Really?
You're from Osei local government?
Yes.
Okay, so she's my sister. All right, so I'm from Osei local government as well. Wow. I'm from Ifon.
Wonderful.
The Odogi in your family.
Oh my God.
So she's my sister.
Yeah, it's a small
So she doesn't have an excuse not to go to UNIBEN. It's our neighbor. It's our school.
Exactly.
But you're a Lagosian.
Yes.
True and true. Yes, people do this and allow their children to leave a community and go to another community. You're from Delta.
From Delta.
You schooled in UNIBEN. So it's just like neighbors too.
Yeah, neighbors
you
too.
know. But at least leaving Lagos for you, you were not living in Ondo State, but you were from Ondo State.
Yes.
Now, leaving Lagos for you, you went all the way back home, relatively, to get to acclimatize with the culture of the place. How was the experience?
Well, I'll say it was very astounding because the Benin Kingdom, they have a wonderful culture and tradition. So I found it very, very interesting. And the people are very hospitable, very welcoming. So it was as if I was home. Yes.
Home?
Yes.
Away from home?
Home.
Oh, because she was actually home. She's Bendel.
Yes.
So she was in Benin. So she was home in a way. Yes. But because she wasn't used to the culture, that's why I had to ask that question. Yes. And you were in Delta, so you were relatively in that environment. Did you grow up in Delta?
Also Bendel.
Also Bendel.
Delta, Edo and
okay, yes, that's true. It's also Bendel.
Yeah.
So did you grow up in that environment?
Yes, I did.
And of course you went to school in that environment.
Yes.
So you're like me.
Yes.
I grew up in Ilesha. I went to OAU. So I'm like, I used to go home like in the afternoon after lecture and come back in the evening. It was that funny. But you know, looking at the way our parents react today, the average parent will not allow their child to go past the immediate environment for any form of education. It is backyard school.
Backyard school.
You are in Lagos. You went to Koshofe Primary School. You will go to Kosi Grammar School. And you go to Unilagolaso or Laspotec. You know, for some reason, parents keep their children within. What would you say is responsible for that?
Well, you would think that perhaps the overprotective nature of parents generally, they want their kids, especially these days that you have security challenges everywhere. But as a person, it's something I'm really against if I should have my way, because leaving the home as a young graduate gives you that mental development that it's time to face life, to grow up, to be matured, to respect yourself, and to be focused. But, well, the parents are by nature very protective.
True.
Again, it's not all parents that fall into that category. You will still see some parents that they are in Lagos, their children in Enugu, Jos, AB Uzaria, and so forth. But majority of parents, they are now using that excuse of security and that the children should
hold on tightly to their kids and make sure they don't leave.
But the children must be let go. They must mature. They must grow up and stand on their own. Yeah.
Would you say that that is responsible for the crop of immature undergraduates we have today?
Yeah.
Or immature graduates and sometimes immature young people? They have conversations with you and you're like,
Yeah, there's something missing.
there is something missing across board. You see some of that attitudinal drop because there's always this protective team. Brother is there, mommy is there. Before anything, you call mommy, you call auntie. In those good days when there is no phone for you to even call them, you have to face life. Face it,
there's
deal
no
with
phone,
it.
no.
Face it, deal with
we
it.
had phones. That means you didn't have phone.
No.
No, we don't have phone.
You didn't have
Time
phone,
we
we
used to
didn't.
queue to
I
make
had phone.
this night call.
We're not in the same generation. Don't worry, I understand.
You know, those queues can be very, very funny sometimes. But it builds you up to face life.
Yeah.
And by the time you come to the real world and you face life, you realize that you can handle it.
You can handle it. Let's go back to the main conversation for this morning. That's our community development. We're looking at a collective responsibility. Mr. Chairman, what is the role of the alumni across board? And I'm talking about alumni of any school because people are springing up alumni everywhere. And what I hear them doing is party, go for somebody's birthday, they go to celebrate someone on his kiniko, they go when it is time for somebody's father died. They will all storm the place. And you know, but I want to know, is that all there is to alumni associations? What is their role in community development? What should be their role?
The role of the alumni should not be limited. In fact, it should not and cannot be limited to just feasting or coming to commiserate with others. First thing about any alumni association or body is the networking.
Okay.
You meet with different generations of alumni, the old, the new, and the very, very new. You understand? And it gives a room, you know, to have different opinions and views of life. It's also a way of mental development or mental resilience. Because the way you talk to your classmates is not the way you talk to that other graduate who is your grandfather.
And meanwhile, the alumni, everybody
meets on almost on equal.
We're all alumni. It's an alumni association.
That is
so
one.
Your grandfather, your father's generation.
They are all there. You understand? Now, it builds you that mental resilience and mental awareness that even though you are all on the same platform, you also need to respect yourself. That is one. Then you meet those different generations of graduates from the same school and you see where they have been. It tells you if they have gone this far, you too, you can.
So it encourages you to strive harder.
You understand? And that's part of why we are doing this award of excellence that we are doing. Then the other thing, which is the main thing that alumni should be doing, is to give back to both the community where they are based and the alma mater where they graduated from. You don't just say you are from UNIBEN, Ife or one other school and you are not doing well and you forget that without that school your story is not complete. You see, some of these things we earlier discussed sometimes are the things that make you to be mentally ready for the world you face. There are many things you will see, like some people will say, we don't see 99, not scared of 100. The school builds you. That's why by the time you are graduating, it's in learning and character, not just the theory alone. It's a character that being a full-time or part-time student in the campus brings into you of doing things in an orderly manner. You understand? So the Alumni Association helps to bring that platform of bringing all graduates from that school. I say, what can we give back to the school? How do we improve the quality of education? How do we make sure that the next generation get better education than our time? You identify areas, you intervene, you do it, and it is there for posterity. If you look at most of these big advanced institutions like Harvard, Cambridge, and co, you see how viable their alumni endowment fund.
They have all kinds of awards. Alumni this one award for so for so excellence for so, and they do all of this
time and again. Yes. So that is why our program is there. We call it Partners in Progress. The alumni must collaborate with both their community
and their alma mater,
and make sure things are different. Instead of just crossing your leg and say, why is government not doing this? Why is government not doing this? What are you doing as a graduate of that school?
To make things better.
See that school as your father.
Wouldn't you be giving?
Will you be giving back?
Now, this is a concept that works in developed countries.
Yes.
Do you see this concept working? Because the most effective alumni association that I've seen, and I usually like to celebrate them, is this one at Owode Egba Secondary School. This alumni will go back, and they do their alumni in years. So they try, say, from 70 to 85, and then they have the 85 to the 95. So they have groups like that because there's so many. Now, they do projects, light up the school by generator, try to fence the school, build toilets for the school. They give this, they give that. And then I look at Baptist Boys, Abeokuta as well, Baba Obasanjo's alma mater, and I see the same thing. I look at CMS here in Lagos. So you hear the secondary schools doing this much. The universities are heaven.
Exactly. And that is where I think UNIBEN really has made a headway. We've done some very good projects for our alma mater, and I think other universities should take cue from that. Other alumni should take cue from that and really make an impact, and not wait for government or other people to step up before they do something.
My vice chancellor was right here on this table a couple of months earlier, and he was seated here, and while he was in Lagos, he was saying to me that he wanted to meet with the alumni chapter in Lagos. He came all the way because he was 60, and he wanted to meet with the alumni chapter and share some of his vision with them and see if they can buy into the project. And while he was talking to me, I was just thinking, you didn't need to come to us.
We should have come to you.
We should have come to you.
Exactly.
We should have communicated with you if we are close to home and we keep going.
Yes.
Again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's this saying that if Muhammad don't go mountain will go and look for Muhammad. You understand?
Because in this case, maybe Muhammad had to come lead.
Yeah, everything boils down to leadership.
Okay.
You understand? Most times it starts and ends there.
Exactly.
You understand? There must be that good head that knows that I need to reach out. There's also that good head that when you reach out to, that will accept your reaching out. You see sometimes that people will say, some people will come from outside the country to make interventions. And instead of the head of such institutions to look at what interventions are going to be made, they look at what can they get. And they discourage those people from
doing anything.
So you see that a lot of alumni associations are really not that viable because maybe there's leadership problem per se. Because one, you need to have a vision. Then you can share the vision. Then you can drive it. If you don't have any vision of your own, if you don't even know that it is your responsibility to give back, it's difficult for anybody to convince you. You understand?
Yes.
Now, if you have a VC that you now have a vision to give back to the school, and he or she does not see that as a priority at that time,
there's a problem.
It's a problem. Are you getting me? So there must be that leadership. There must be that vision that this is the way to go. This is global best standards, and it can be done. There's another thing that you don't have, what they call vibe killers or dream killers, that you come out with a proposal that, okay, these are the things that we think should be done to our matter, and God forbid, maybe your WhatsApp platform or in a meeting, one cynic or critic just pull down the whole thing. How are you going to do this? It's impossible. Are you getting
and kills the vibe.
And just kill the vibe right there. And that dies. You understand? Or you have this fantastic idea, you go to the vice chancellor of the school, let's say university alma mater now, and you say this is what you want to do, and you wait for a whole day, you wait for another day, you wait for another week. The cold shoulder can give you the idea that
they don't want this.
They don't want that. Are you getting me? Just like what you have sometimes where you see very fantastic Nigerian students bring up an idea here, and somebody tells him, what is wrong with you?
It can't work.
Can't work. Then one white man will just sit online and invite the person over.
And then the boy becomes popular. And then we start claiming them.
Yes. We start claiming the glory.
We start claiming them. We say Nigeria, no.
It's two sides of the coin. And like the Bible says, to everything under the end there's time. The right timing. You have the right people that have the ideas and the right people that will welcome
the idea
and encourage the ideas. That needs to work hand in hand at any given time. You
to achieve great results. Let's talk about this event you have coming up. I know that is an award of excellence and you're putting it together. Is this the first time? When exactly is it taking place?
It's not the first time.
Okay.
It's not the first.
It's not the first time.
How long have you been chairman though?
This is my third year.
Wow.
Yeah, so this will be the third award of excellence under my tenure.
Okay.
My predecessor, Barrister Emmanuel Oriazoa, is not able to meet up today because of he has some work and this to that is up to now. We started the award of excellence way back, even before this time. So it's something that, like we said, a lot of alumni associations in Lagos and in Nigeria can copy from UNIBEN Alumni Association. We are doing very well in that regard. So it is something we do. It's like our yearly end of year dinner or our yearly what to listen at Christmas per se. So we identify our members that are doing well, create the umbrella for the whole UNIBEN graduate in Lagos, and we bring them together, celebrate them. And in celebrating them, it does not just end with feasting, eating and drinking and going home. We identify areas in the school where they can intervene. You understand? Of this year, we just built an ultra-modern medicinal garden at the Faculty of Pharmacy, UNIBEN. And it was commissioned by our able Vice Chancellor. 2019, we built about 2 massive boreholes when there was water shortages then. Then this coming year now, we are going to do some renovations and build some structures in the Faculty of Engineering. So the whole idea is every year when we gather, we give back.
We have projects.
We have projects that are running concurrently, year on year. You understand? Faculty to faculty.
So you're moving around?
Moving around the school. So we go and do physical need assessment with the school authority, see where we can come in as alumni body.
That would even reduce the burden of the government.
Yes. It is our belief, and it's very cardinal to our belief as an administration, that government alone cannot do it. You understand? And should not do it all. So the idea is you pass through that system. What are you giving back
to the system
to make that system better? Instead of just going to the school or be on your social media and take picture. Can you imagine a tertiary institution is like this? What can you do about it
to make it different? Let's quickly, we need to round off now. What exactly is it taking place and where?
It's taking place at the Sheraton Hotel and Suites on the 5th of December. This coming month. Yes, by 2 p.m.
And it's not open to everybody.
So strictly by invitation.
Strictly by invitation.
Yes.
But I have a UNIBEN. I can quickly go and get my certificate from UNIBEN and so I can attend.
I think we can give
also, you can come in. Friends of UNIBEN.
We can give you.
Friends of UNIBEN are all welcome.
Please don't give me tickets when I come. It's not that you now bring me and then you now bring your ticket forward and all that.
It's strictly by ticket, but as a friend of UNIBEN, you will also be welcome.
I'll be welcome to come. Is there food?
It's a bouquet. It's a food buffet.
Coming.
So,
5th of December.
To mark the date down.
Okay, I will.
All road
about
leads
2
to
p.m.
Sheraton Banquet Hall.
Yes.
2 p.m. red carpet. From 3 o'clock we start full
event.
Yeah.
All right, we look forward to being a part of that event, and congratulations to you, Chairman, for the great. Okay, no, COVID, for the great work you've been doing for quite a while in the alumni. I hope other alumni would learn from you. Let's take a break. When we return, our community report comes up next. We're still talking about community development, and this time around, our dear ladies went on the bridges in Lagos.